guys, Naza here.
And Sally.
And we're back for another episode of
Dating in the City.
And today we are at Tiki on 18th. And so we discovered this place because we came for its opening. And they have amazing food, you guys. So today we're having their brunch, which is all day on Sundays from 12 to 8. And they're only open Thursday through Sunday, so you have to make sure you get over here. It's in the heart of Adams Morgan, so don't pass it. Just upstairs, they have a beautiful outdoor patio, and you gotta come check it out. Okay, so before we get into today's topic, Sally's gonna introduce our lovely, beautiful guest, who I don't even know if she actually needs an introduction, but we're gonna do it anyway.
Yeah. We do have a very special guest today. She's a radio personality, author, and philanthropist. The beautiful, the amazing Sunni. Sunni in the City.
Hi. Dating in the City, Sunni in the City.
Now we know, if you are from the DMV, you know this famous voice and this famous face, but like Sally said, Sunni has so much more going on, and she's single.
Yeah.
And
well, I'm not married.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, you are not married.
Well, you know, you're single till you're married.
Oh, yeah.
So she's single. And so we thought it would be amazing to have her on Dating in the City, just to talk about, one, her experience with love and life in DC, and get her perspective on a few other things. So Sally, can you tell us what is our topic today?
So our topic today is successful women and dating. How difficult is it to date as a successful woman?
So it's a little weird for me because I don't usually just like go on dates. I was dating someone last year, and I remember we broke up, and I didn't go on a date for 6 months. Like not even dinner.
Yeah.
And it was crazy because I didn't even realize it. You know, I was so busy. My book had just come out. I was doing so much work, and I looked up and I'm like, wait. Oh my God, I have not even gone on a date, so which is really crazy. So I just like, I don't really think about it. And it's crazy here because a lot of people don't ask me out.
We know that struggle.
I was actually having that conversation with Naza the other day. We were basically talking about when was the last time you actually were asked out by a person
in real life?
Yeah. I don't know how it is in other big cities, but I know in DC, people don't generally talk to each other when they're out. Unless you're being introduced by someone, that knows you and knows the match, then it's really hard to just organically go up to someone.
It is.
And I don't know why.
So do you think it's a product of modern dating app culture where, traditionally men kind of approach women and ask them out, and it's almost like, why put yourself up for that type of rejection in real life anymore when you can just be on a dating app, know that the woman is interested in you because you guys have had a match, and then pursue her? So you think that it's they don't want to be rejected?
I don't know what it is because I just remember being in my 20s and this was before social media, and we used to go out all the time.
Yeah.
It was a dating, I don't understand. And I was like, I'm cuter now. I got my teeth fixed. I'm cuter now.
Guys, can you please drop a comment? Why don't you guys approach women in person anymore? Is it because you're intimidated? Is it because you just rather not feel any type of rejection? I mean, when you see this type of gorgeousness out and about, what holds you back from saying, hey, introducing yourself and trying to get her number?
So it's hard to find people organically in real life, right? Yeah. But when you actually do make a connection, how are guys responsive to your lifestyle and your career, and are they supportive? Are they intimidated?
I have had clearly it didn't work out, so I don't want to say I've had a great, experience with that, but I don't date guys in the music industry. I never have. I've been in radio 17 years. I've never even been on a date.
Is there a reason behind that?
In the beginning, it was just, I always wanted to make sure that people, and you shouldn't you shouldn't worry about what other people think. But to me, just as a young girl, I was 18 and I was in the industry, I was I always wanted to make sure that my reputation was straight. I was always so terrified. So I was I just want to make sure that everyone knows that everything I got and everything I work for is from me and my hard work. So I was always so terrified of that. So I just never did. And then it just it's just not my thing. Like I don't want to date someone who tours and travels too much where I can't see him. And I like to date in my city wherever I'm at. So I don't do long distance. I don't do long distance. Like the furthest I've done is like New York. And but you know, that's just the right way. And I've had really great people who my friends introduced me, who are, you know, successful businessmen or just, I call them hot nerds.
Yes.
You know, so they have like their own thing. And I think already going into it with me, they already know what it is. So I haven't really had a really bad experience with someone didn't appreciate my lifestyle. Because honestly, I do have a lot of free time. Even though I'm busy, I still make time.
Make the time for the things that matter.
So I never make them feel like whatever I have going on is like above them.
So do you have any tips for successful women and how they actually approach dating? I mean, you've been in the game for a while and like accumulated a lot of success, and so are there any tips and tricks that you kind of, you know, apply to your dating mindset and your approach, or is it just like you're just being yourself and, you know, it is what it is?
I think that it's very, like, men love women who are independent, successful, but like stop throwing it in their face or stop making them feel like they're not the man. Like I am all about like women empowerment, and I always say like I don't need anyone for anything, but I'll always make sure he feels like he is, like he knows that I'm here for him. He's still the man. Like I always want the man to be the man in a relationship. I'm not wearing the pants. Like I'm fine with that. So it's not like I'm being submissive or I'm just like downplaying my success, because obviously I'm trying to date people who appreciate what I have going on. So it's not, you take that out of the equation. Like that's not the issue. So I always make sure that if we go to an event that I'm not like leaving him behind and like networking. Take him along with you. Make him feel a part of what you have going on, so he doesn't feel left out. And I think I've heard some of the people that I know, you know, do that whole like, well, you know, I'm taking care of him, like making him feel in a certain way. And I just don't think it can work out, because then he feels like less of a man, and then you feel like he's not man enough, and then it's just never gonna work. So I'm just like, include them in what you have going on and make them feel special.
I think that's actually, like, what you're saying is completely spot on with what women struggle with. Like in 2019, like we're trying to find ourselves and be powerful and feel empowered, but then you also have a lot of, you know, traditional roles that we're trying to fill, but then we're trying to, you know, find our own step in trying to figure out what tradition and modern life means.
Because you don't want to be like, I have all this going on, so I'm just gonna downplay myself and let him like run show. Like no, you wanna. He needs to know that you're strong, that you have everything going on.
That you're a partner.
But still, like, hey babe, like you're good. Like make sure that he knows, because no one, if he did that to you, you wouldn't like it. You know what I'm saying?
So I just read this article a couple days ago, and it was talking about why successful women often end up in toxic relationships or not in the relationship that they desire, right? And so the point, we'll put the article in the bio or in the description. So the point of the article really was 3 points. One, that successful women, we're used to working hard, right? So a lot of times once we get into a relationship, we think we understand that it takes hard work to make them successful. So a lot of times you're in the relationship a lot longer because you know that hard work has paid off in every other aspect of your life. So if you just put more hard work into this, then maybe, you know, things will go right. The second point was that toxic men actually look for women who are successful, and it's counterintuitive, right? We think, oh, like men like that are going to go for weaker women, but in actuality they go for stronger women because they know that strong women don't need to be taken care of, and that strong women often are nurturers, and so they're able to be taken care of in return. And the last thing they said was, when you throw in good sex, that's like, you know, it's like the perfect formula for a toxic relationship, right? Because a lot of times when your physical needs are being met, even if your emotional needs aren't being met on the same level, you end up still staying in that relationship, hoping that through hard work it's going to get better.
Oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. And I wanted to make a point on 2 of those. So you mentioned, because they think that, you know, we're nurturers, and it does make sense, because think about it, if you do too much of the I'm independent and all this, you throw it in their face, it's not going to work. But then and you try to be the nurturer because you want to make them feel like the man, and if you go overboard, then they're gonna take advantage of that. So it's like you have to figure out some balance to make that work. And I always say it's like when I'm like, in your career, you literally know like you have to do this many years, and it's gonna do this, and then like your love life's a hot mess because there's no rules. There's no rules to the game, and I think that we as women who are in our 30s and mid 30s and who are looking for that, I think we need to really take it all in and say that's actually kind of it works for everyone. That you know, anything can happen. There's no rules in your love life, because think about it, you can walk outside right now and meet your husband on the street and be married within the next 2 months. Like you just don't know.
I noticed that in a lot of your answers you talk about energy and good energy, so I do appreciate that like you have a good attitude about being single, because I think it's really important, not just for successful women but women in general, to have a good attitude, and not necessarily because it's going to bring the right person into your life, but it makes you realize that life can be fulfilling without a romantic partner. Obviously we want romantic partners because they do make life, you know, more enjoyable, fun, and rewarding, but it's also really important to stress that you yourself are enough, and you're able to do things in life that are just for you, right? Because we all know when we get into relationships, a lot of things we do, especially for women who are nurturing, who are caring, you do a lot of things for your partner, and sometimes we tend to
slack on our own,
forget about us.
I completely agree. Going back to when I was 18 years old and I decided I'm gonna make this amazing life. So whoever comes along, it's gonna be this great addition.
It's the compliment.
It's a compliment, because that whole like my other half is somebody else. Because like I'm not a half. Like I'm a full.
So she is hitting the nail on the head, you guys.
No, but it's like I'm not looking for my other half. Like I'm a full person. You can come on and we can be two damn fulls. I just learned that you have to have that balance and know when to stop being the full-on nurturer, because when that person goes away and things don't work out, I can't be shattered. You can be sad and you can be hurt,
but it's not.
I'm not gonna be like picking up my pieces off the floor and trying to figure out like my next step.
That's what the 20s were for.
20s were a mess.
But I love, you know, this goes back to Sally, what you said in one of our prior episodes about every breakup being an opportunity for a breakthrough, right? And it's like, it's not about breaking down, right? It's about learning, growing, and like moving forward from that experience, taking the good and the bad, right? And helping that improve who you are.
So how do we feel about women making more money than their partners? Because I know a lot of men will say that they really want an independent woman, an ambitious woman.
To a certain extent.
To a certain extent. So do we find that, you know, that it's true, they really do want an independent woman, or is it so long as you're not better and more successful than me?
I think it depends on the guy. I think a really confident guy wouldn't mind that, because obviously if you guys are getting married or in a relationship and you're sharing certain things, obviously. But my thing is, again, stop throwing it in his face. And that goes for both sides. I remember, and I talk about this in my book, Still I Shine on Amazon.
Make sure you get that.
I was dating this really, really successful football player when I was like 18 years old. And he was like always about money, and I didn't have anything. I was like super dirt poor, and he said something to me like, "You're the type of woman I would marry, and I would do whatever. Like I would still live my life. You wouldn't leave because he's like,
okay.
He was like, he said I would create. He was like, I would give you this amazing life. Like who would want to leave that? And in my head, I was like, oh my God. So that stuck with me. Even though I was 18 years old, I didn't know anything. I always was like, wow, I'm gonna work so hard to have this really great life for myself. And whenever this amazing man comes in, he's gonna be an amazing addition to what I have going on. And I'm still gonna make him feel like he's the man, and just, you know, all, and loved and appreciated. But he's gonna, at the bottom of it all, know that he will not be doing whatever he wants, and I will still stay. So like that stuck with me, and I think that's why I have like a zero tolerance thing.
Sally, we want to thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Dating in the City. You're amazing, and we can't wait to see what you do in your future.
Super inspirational.
Knocked up and pregnant with my feet up.
Right. We'll do another episode.
A baby in the city.
Baby in the city.
Baby in the city.
Okay, so so tell us, where can people find you? What are your socials? Like, you know, give us all your info.
Sunni, S-U-N-N-I, and the city on all platforms.
And when can they hear you?
Every morning, 6 to 10 on WPGC 95.5, and then I do Foxstar Like It or Not every Thursday night at 7 p.m. And yeah, I'm just out and about in the city.
All right, guys, so you know the drill. This is another episode. Please make sure you like and subscribe, hit the bell button. You can find us on social media at Carpe Diem Dating. Have you downloaded the dating app yet? Have you downloaded Carpe Diem? Like we said, there's some beautiful women on there, some beautiful men out there, and we want to make sure that you're not missing out on the love of your life because you're not on the app. So make sure you download it today.
Because I'm downloading it
right now. You might find her on there, okay? Okay. So until next time.